69 South.
69 South.
69 South.
Welcome everyone to Podcast 69 South, where we cuss and discuss true crime, cold cases, current events, and hot topics, along with our state of society today. This is your trigger warning. Our podcast content is produced for adult listeners 18 years of age and older. We discuss situations that may be offensive and triggering to some listeners. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome everybody to 69 South Podcast. I hope you had a good time since the last time. I'm Chop, and I'm your host today. And with me always is my beautiful co-host, Julie.
Happy February.
Today we're going to cover the Haley Cheney case. Haley was a 23-year-old mother, and she was currently working as a nurse's aide. On December 3rd, 2023, Haley was found by her sister to be unresponsive with blood on the side of her face in the passenger side of her car. It was eventually found out that Haley had suffered from a gunshot wound to the side of her head. Now, was it a suicide? Was it the result of another person's actions? We don't know, but we're going to dig into the events that happened that night with you and try to figure it out. Now, I have to admit, Julie, when we first started looking into this case, I'm not saying cut and dry suicide, but I was kind of skeptical. I was thinking, why are the family members pushing so hard for people to look into this? And since we have dug so deep into this case, I have to say my attitude completely changed about it. When you look at every aspect of it and what the law enforcement lacked to do, it's just changed my whole perspective of.
It's changed mine too. I thought, wow, when we first got into this case, it really sounds like, she could have been suicidal. But when you get to know Haley through the stories that her family shared, you get a whole different vibe of the situation.
Absolutely.
So, Miss Haley Cheney was born on May 7th, 1999. She was a Taurus. So, she was she had a will on her.
Yeah, I know about them Tauruses.
Yeah. So she was born in Cleaver, Texas. She was kind and affectionate. She was a daughter and a sister who aspired to emulate her mother's kindness and strength. She was described as having a radiant smile. Her presence brought positivity to everyone around her. Throughout her education at DeSoto High School, Haley participated in the early college high school program, which allowed her to earn both her high school diploma and college credit. She aimed for a career in forensic pathology, taking courses in phlebotomy and becoming CPR certified and AED certified. She graduated in the top 5% of her class. She received honors, including placement on the Dean's List, an award from the Perry Initiative for her participation in a program to encourage women in orthopedic surgery and engineering. Haley's commitment to her goals reflected her desire to make a positive impact on her community and beyond. Now, in addition to her many accomplishments, Haley was a devoted mother to a baby boy who we'll refer to as Isaiah. Her nurturing nature and dedication to both her family and her goals highlighted her strong character and commitment to making a positive difference in the lives of those around her.
Now, with all that being said, she wasn't just some student that was fucking around. She had goals, and you could tell.
She was going places.
Yeah, top 5% of her class on the Dean's List. After school credits.
The whole nine.
Yeah, so with that being said, also, she wasn't somebody that just gave up easy. She sounds Taurus, obviously bullheaded.
Yeah. No. So Haley was in a relationship. It was a very short relationship with this man named Kris. Now, Haley had got pregnant, and Kris didn't want really nothing to do with her up until the last 2 weeks of her pregnancy. Then he decided he wanted to be a dad and hang around. And so
And those feelings that Julie's talking about is verified in a lot of text messages that we're going to get into
later on. Yeah.
Now, when Haley gave birth to baby Isaiah, Kris was present at the hospital, and afterward they returned to their respective homes. But Haley began spending more time with Kris and his family. Their relationship was still relatively new. They had only been officially together for about 6 months. In fact, Kris's brother didn't even know Haley's last name when he made a 911 call. During the short time they were together after the baby was born, Kris frequently sent Haley threatening messages. Some were subtle, some were subliminal, others were direct. This created an atmosphere where Haley felt like she was constantly treading carefully. But I do have to say, she took a lot of them text messages, the ones that were given over to us in our investigation. She took them, lightly and was, kind of
always trying to
brush it off and make peace of the situation in my eyes.
Yeah, and point to a positive direction. On Saturday, December 2nd, around 10 p.m., everything seemed calm. Haley had responded to a text message that Kris had sent her saying, "Everything's cool, baby. I'm in here talking to your dad." Now, from this exchange, it appeared that things were going well. That was for that moment in time.
At 11:43, Kris called Haley's mom, but Haley's mom didn't answer. However, she quickly texted back, "I'll call you right back." Kris replied, "Your daughter Haley is tripping. She drank too much." 5 minutes later, Haley's mom attempted to call her, but Haley still didn't answer. Concerned, Haley's mom texted Kris again, "Tell her to call me." A few minutes later, Kris responded, "She drank too much. She's about to fall asleep." Now, a couple of minutes had passed, and Kris texted Haley's mom again. "I literally don't know what her problem is. I tried to make her eat and drink Gatorade, but she took it as to me being on some shit."
Haley's mom replied, "I'm already on the way," to reassure Kris. Now, to confirm, she sent another text message both to Haley and Kris, letting them know that she was en route. In a state of panic, Haley's family continued trying to call her, but she remained unresponsive. 5 minutes later, the Ring video camera captured Haley getting out of her car as her sister-in-law came outside to check on her. After briefly interacting with her, Haley walked into the house and told her sister-in-law, "I don't give a fuck. They ain't going to keep my child from me."
We're about to dive into a tense moment that unfolds as Haley walks into the house, seething with anger. As soon as she steps inside, it's clear she feels like her boyfriend and his family are trying to keep her baby boy, Isaiah, away from her. The atmosphere is charged, and Haley is on a mission to reclaim her child.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. Kris's phone made a call to Haley's mom, but she did not answer. So the call went to voicemail. And I want to share with you what was captured in this voicemail.
Stop. Nobody from you. And nobody wants to hear from you. I asked you to sit down. I'm just saying, like, your phone is a bitch. Stop saying that to me. Hey, stop it. Give me my fucking son. Stop it. Give me my fucking son. I swear. Nobody stop.
Now, that's a powerful moment that really highlights the emotional turmoil Haley is experiencing.
All right, now let's take a closer look at the 17-second voicemail clip that really captures the intensity of this situation, because it seems like it's, there's a lot going on right there.
It's chaotic. Now, as we listen, the first voice we hear is a woman urgently saying, "Stop, stop." And in the background, we can make out Haley's voice passionately declaring, "Ain't nobody finna keep my child." Then another female voice responds, "Nobody wants to fucking keep him. I asked to keep him," followed by, "Sit down, sit down."
The tension escalates as Haley screams in frustration, words barely discernible, but we can clearly hear her shout, "Bitch, give me my fucking son. Give me my fucking son. I swear to," and then the call abruptly cuts off, as you guys could hear. This voicemail encapsulates the raw emotions and conflict at play. It's a heartbreaking glimpse into Haley's desperation and determination to be with her child. While the emotional storm brews, he sends a text to Haley's mom saying, "She is really tripping."
Her response is immediate. "I'm on my way to get her." This reaction sets off a ripple effect of concern. Haley's sister and grandmother are frantic. This kind of turmoil is out of character for Haley, and understandably, they are worried.
As tension rises, Haley's mom attempts to call Kris. When he answers, all that can be heard is the escalating argument between Haley, Kris, and his family. The chaos is palpable, and it's clear that the situation is spiraling quickly. Haley's mom tries calling her again, but there is no answer. In a rush to reach her daughter, Kris texts.
She texts.
She texted Kris, "I'm flying." Moments later, Haley finally answers the phone, her voice filled with panic. "Mom, get here quick." He did it in front of his family.
Now, I've been wondering what it is.
What
did he do?
I don't know. I've ran it through my head like over and over, and I've really been trying to figure out, what he could have done. In all fairness, this is Haley's mother's account of what her daughter said to her in her last moments. So,
right. So, at this point, it's 12:18 a.m. We know that Haley has been inside the house for about 15 minutes arguing and fighting with this tense group. I mean, there were 2 grown women, the boyfriend's mom and the sister-in-law, along with 3 grown men, his dad, his brother, and the boyfriend, Kris, himself. That's a long time to be in such a heated situation.
3 minutes later, after the frantic phone call, Haley sends her final text, "I don't give a fuck. They ain't finna keep my son from me." Her mom quickly replies, reassuring her that she is on her way. Meanwhile, Kris is texting Haley's mom saying now she's leaving, not driving, but she took off walking, followed by she dropped her phone on the way out.
Now, the front door's Ring camera captures a heart-wrenching scene. Haley is already seated on the steps crying. Just as the camera zooms in, the front door opens and the boyfriend's sister-in-law steps out, holding Haley's forgotten phone, saying, "You left your phone."
Haley is clearly distraught, tears streaming down her face as she repeats, "I don't give a fuck." The sister-in-law mentions that Haley's mom has texted her, but Haley, still overwhelmed, responds with the same defiance, "I don't give a fuck." It's evident she's heartbroken and exhausted from the constant control and threat she's been facing.
In an attempt to lighten the mood, the sister-in-law says something playful, but Haley brushes it off, uninterested. You then see Haley rise unsteadily, walking toward her passenger door of her car. She opens it and she sits in the passenger seat, still with the door wide open, her emotions raw and vulnerable. Meanwhile, the sister-in-law heads back into the house.
That whole thing, investigating that, listening to the screams of the family, especially Haley's sister, I mean, it was just, you could feel the emotion and the tension in the scene.
And, that makes me have questions, and they linger. Like, why don't we see Haley walking out of the house on the Ring camera before the sister-in-law exit? It seems the camera is only motion or audio triggered, So, and then you got Kris texting Haley's mom to inform her that Haley dropped her phone on the way out.
I mean, Haley's family remains frantic. Their worry palpable as they continue to call her, but she never answers. The tensions is high and thick, and it's clear the emotions are running super high.
20 minutes later, Kris texts Haley's mom. She's just sitting in the car. I think she fell asleep. Haley's mom replies immediately, "I'm about to be there."
Meanwhile, another Ring camera clip captures the sister-in-law walking up to Haley's car. The camera activates as she is walking out the front door, and she peered inside Haley's car. She sees Haley snoring and fast asleep. You can see this clip. You could probably go to something and look at it. But
Justice for Haley Cheney Facebook page.
I don't know if it means anything or not, but it does seem like she's tiptoeing out there.
That's what I thought too.
I don't know whether it's she knows what she's going to see and she doesn't want to see it, or she's not trying to wake Haley up. But regardless, she's inching her way around there to see. And then
being very careful.
Absolutely. She looks in there for a few seconds, long enough to get a clear view of whatever's in the car, I believe.
Yeah, turned right around and
To me, it looks like she
Goes right back
smiles.
inside.
It looks like she has a smile on her face to me when she turns around.
Oh, I wouldn't be smiling if I was her.
And I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying
Right.
it looked like she had a smile on her face. That could mean she thought something was funny. A lot of people smile and laugh when something really fucked up's going on.
Yeah, like dark
Like you.
humor. Okay, so 10 minutes later, Haley's family arrives to pick her and baby Isaiah up. Haley's sister walks up the driveway and notices the boyfriend's mom standing at the door smoking. She says, "Hey, how are you doing?" the boyfriend's mom asks. Now, as she approaches the car, she sees Haley's right arm hanging out. The boyfriend's mother, brother, and sister-in-law are all gathered at the storm door watching. As Haley's sister reaches the car, her heart sinks. She immediately notices that Haley is bleeding profusely from her head. She shakes her sister, trying to rouse her, but Haley doesn't respond.
In a panic, Haley's sister sees what she thinks are her keys in Haley's lap. As she moves them, she quickly realizes that those aren't keys. It's a gun. She quickly places the weapon in the passenger side pocket of the door and yells to her mom, something is wrong with Haley. The Ring video captures her telling the boyfriend's mom there's blood all over her. The boyfriend's mom approaches the open car door, glances inside, and backs away, exclaiming, she shot herself. In just 3 seconds, she concludes that Haley shot herself without even looking closely. I wonder how she could know for sure.
Like, she acted like a, mama bear. Oh, she shot herself.
She shot herself.
She was so certain. I mean, she repeated it 3 times. I mean, I think she was trying to convince herself.
I did find that just a little bit odd, I have to say.
So as the boyfriend's mom shouts she shot herself, she manages to tell her family to call the police. And she rushes back inside.
Outside, the sister-in-law can be heard screaming, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? The boyfriend's mom replies, we have no idea. The sister-in-law insists she was just sleeping, snoring just a few minutes ago. We didn't do shit to her. Panic sets in as they start discussing the cameras, trying to piece together what happened. Just then, the boyfriend's brother exits the house, phone in hand, already dialing 911.
And I want to play this 911 call so you guys can hear what we got to hear.
Get a visual of what's up.
Yep.
10 o'clock a.m. 49 seconds, December 3, 2023.
Yeah, I knew somebody to,
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
my, brother's girlfriend, they were getting into it. She, went outside, her parents pulled up, and it looked like she shot herself.
All right, are you with her now?
I'm standing outside in front of the car. Her family just pulled up, and that's when they realized it happened.
Okay, how old is she?
23, 24.
Okay. Is she awake?
No.
Is she breathing?
No, it doesn't look like it.
It happened out here.
I'm on the phone with him now. This happened out here. This happened out here. She been outside 45 minutes.
Do you believe that she's beyond any help?
What you mean she can't do that by herself? She been out here for 45 minutes. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's a camera right here, fam. What's wrong with her, bro?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So do you believe she's beyond help?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Where did she shoot herself at?
It looks like in the side of her head.
Okay.
So what happened was maybe an hour and a half ago she got into it. She went outside of the car to calm down. We stayed inside. Her family pulled up. We came outside with her family. They opened the door, and it looks like she's bleeding from the side of her head.
Okay. What is her name?
Her name is Haley. I don't know her last name.
Okay. All right, what is your name?
My name is Ken.
And what's your last name?
Winston, Winston.
All right, they are on their way, okay? I'm just going to keep you on the phone until they get there, okay?
Yeah, I hear.
Okay. Do you know where the gun is?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
It's our first time stepping outside. I can't tell you. Ain't nobody do shit, bro. Don't come out here with that shit, bro. Bro, I don't care about none of that, fam. I don't care about that. I don't either. Yeah, she did that. She did that. She came outside and did that. Camera right here. Camera right here. Camera right here. Camera right here. Right there. I don't care about that shit, bro. Camera right here, fam. Don't come in here accusing nobody of that. It's not you. It's her talking crazy, bro. She's not gonna say somebody did that shit. I don't care about that. No, she's not gonna say nobody did that to somebody, bro. Yeah, you still there?
I'm here.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's a bunch of extra going on. I'm sorry.
Sure, I understand. So, are you able to make sure everything is the way you found it?
Yeah, ain't nobody stepped out to the car and touched nothing yet.
Okay. Where are her parents?
They're outside.
Okay. I checked on her like 15 minutes ago. Saying she was in the car.
Yeah, 15 minutes ago we went outside, checked on her. She was outside asleep. Her family pulls up to the house, checks on her. She's bleeding. It looks like she shot herself.
While he is on the phone with 911, the boyfriend's brother is also visible on the Ring camera. As he speaks with the operator, he engages in a heated argument with Haley's family, seemingly more focused on convincing himself that she did this. He repeats his claims multiple times, shouting about the cameras, insisting, "There's a camera there, there's a camera there."
Now, there's a couple of things that bothers me about this. Clearly, the whole ordeal is, on video, on the Ring video footage, and it has come to light, and it's, they didn't even really realize that she had been shot. I don't think her sisters even realized it, or her mother realized it until the police got there and said it was an obvious, gunshot wound.
They had no clue. They didn't know what was wrong with her. The only people saying that she was shot was the family, was the boyfriend's mom and the boyfriend's brother.
I find it odd that like he knew for sure, she did this to herself. She shot herself. She's been out here for 45 minutes. And you can also hear the boyfriend's sister saying, "I checked on her 15 minutes ago and she was snoring." I mean, for one, you don't know if the boyfriend's brother says she's been out here for 45 minutes. Well, he doesn't know if, somebody walked up the street and shot her in the head, tried to rob her and shot her, or,
yeah, but
anything.
He's so sure that she did this to herself. But you know what? There's a shocking truth here. Guess what? Those cameras did not, and I repeat, did not capture anything significant. There is a 25-minute gap between the Ring videos from 12:25 p.m. to 12:50 p.m., during which no texts were sent from Kris to Haley's mom either, which seems odd because he's been texting her steadily the whole drive while she's on her way.
Another thing I find odd about it is, now this whole time, the baby's father was standing on the staircase. Haley's mother looks at him and says, "You killed my daughter, bitch." And he literally doesn't say anything. He's dripping wet. He just got out of the shower. Now, somebody that you passionately cared for so much, as you can see that he passionately cared for enough that he wanted to kill her, in all the text messages that were the text threads that we are going to show you.
You would assume that he's like chaotically crazy obsessed with her.
Right. Now, everybody does shit different, but I'm telling you right now, I would have ran the fuck out there and seen what the hell was going on with my baby mama. I mean,
yeah. That's what any normal person, I believe the reaction would be.
I would think so. I mean, literally, it's shocking, kind of.
He didn't even step not 1 foot outside. So the paramedics carefully removed Haley from the scene and they transported her to the ambulance, which in turn took her to the hospital. She was still alive, but barely hanging on.
That's another thing. The boyfriend's brother was saying, "Oh, she don't need any help. She's done, basically." And how the fuck would he know?
I have no idea how he would know.
She's
He was
beyond
so
help.
sure of it.
Yeah, she's beyond help. I don't think she's breathing. I mean, you're standing multiple feet away from her.
So Haley's family rushed to the hospital, their hearts heavy with anxiety. After what felt like a lifetime of waiting, the doctors emerged to deliver the devastating news. They had done all they could. Haley's heart was still beating with the assistance of life support, but tragically, she was brain dead.
When the family agreed to see her, they waited for the staff to clean her up. Detectives arrived at the hospital to speak with them, fresh from the scene. With only one side of the story to go on, they had bits and pieces of the picture. The family shared everything they knew about the events leading up to this moment. However, the detectives ominously stated, "You might have to accept the fact that Haley might have done this to herself."
Why would the Little Elm police say that? It felt as if they had already formed a preconceived notion based solely on one person's account. Haley's mom had to plead with the investigators to test Haley's hands for gunshot residue, and they did bag her hands, yet the Little Elm Police Department failed to follow through and no GSR test was ever conducted.
That was another heartbreaking part of this story is Haley's mother said that she couldn't even hold her baby's hands because she wanted to protect her hands.
Any evidence that was left there.
Any gunshot residue that could have been on her hands, and they never even tested it. So that was taken from her in the last moments of her baby's life.
Now, tragically, Haley passed around 6 a.m. Her boyfriend, his mother, father, brother, and sister-in-law never showed up to the hospital that night. Now, Kris, too, remained absent of everything that evening after learning of Haley's severe injuries, leaving her family to grieve alone. The investigation into Haley's death was closed, and 4 months later, the cause of death was ruled a suicide due to a gunshot wound.
Haley was shot with a .380 Ruger LCP Special. The gun was discovered by her sister lying perfectly in her lap. The investigation revealed that the firearm had a magazine containing 4 rounds in it. It can hold a total of 6 rounds. An unspent casing was found on the driver's seat next to a gun holster, and another spent casing was located behind Haley's car underneath a neighboring vehicle.
Now, it's peculiar that her arm was hanging out of the door, the same arm that she would have used to shoot the gun. The firearm was positioned in her lap with the barrel facing the driver's side door and the grip toward the glove box, suggesting that a right-handed person may have placed it there. The gunshot wound was located about an inch above the bottom of her eyebrow. Upon examining the wound, it doesn't resemble other gunshot wounds of the same caliber. Instead, it appears the bullet entered from top to bottom. While we're not bullet wound experts, we have studied numerous cases, and most self-inflicted headshots we've encountered do not match the characteristics of Haley's injury.
Now, there's a significant rip in the skin on the right side of the wound, and there's no stippling present, indicating that the gun was held, very close to her head. The angle of the wound also suggests an unusual positioning of the firearm, which doesn't align how most people typically hold a gun when committing suicide. Additionally, there's evidence of a heated argument prior to the incident. When the family retrieved Haley's phone, they discovered some disturbing text messages that added to their concerns.
And videos too. And I have the voice clip from the video that I want you guys to hear. And this is a video that was found on Haley's phone, and it is of her boyfriend Kris threatening her.
Letting her know what he wanted to let her know.
Yeah, that's what he said.
All right, let's play that.
Yeah, all right, babe. I'm glad you think shit funny. You think I'm joking? Like, I'm so fucking serious. Like, I wouldn't want to, but I will hurt you, girl. I will literally end your existence. And everybody you love, everybody will go about you. Like, you think I'm joking? Like, you fucking the LMFAO? No, I'm not kidding. You got me fucked. What the fuck? That's so cute. I think it's adorable that you think that.
So apparently, if she did think he was joking, he thought it was LMFAO that she even thought that he would fucking joke about something like that. I will end your existence, and everybody
You love
will go about
or
you.
some shit.
Yeah.
He's stupid.
I mean, that's a fucked up thing to say, especially to emphasize that if you think I'm playing, I ain't fucking playing. It's even cute that you think I'm playing.
So I also wanted to talk about these text messages that Kris was sending to Haley. Now, when Haley was pregnant, she had a text exchange with Kris, and this is what she said to him. She said, "Baby, I ain't that retarded. No, you're a little crazy. And go use the restroom if you want to. We'll be rolling out with little Isaiah or some shit. I've been calling him baby Isaiah so much, nothing else sounds right. But let me put a name in my back pocket just in case." So it sounds like they were talking about naming their baby or whatever. And he says, "Who the fuck is Isaiah?" And she says, "A name from that list my mama sent me." And he says, "Baby, fuck around and find out. He won't even take his first breath." And she's like trying jokingly, like laughing my ass off. "You gonna kill him if he isn't blank baby?" She said, "I'll kill him, period."
He said.
And she says, "Leave our son out of this." So he's talking about ending the child before it even takes its first breath.
That's kind of fucked up. That's a fucked up thing to say, joking or not.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's other messages. "What if I kill you? Baby, you want to get beat up? You want to get beat up, baby? Are you positive you don't want to get beat up?" And she's like, "I'm positive, baby. Don't start." I mean, this guy is just gone. In another message, he's like, "Baby, listen, I don't want to have to hurt nobody. But if it's between me and them, Juice World ticket giveaway." You know what he meant by that?
No, I was asking you that the other day, but honestly, I wasn't listening when you explained it to me. I wasn't.
Okay, so Juice World is a rapper, and he passed away of a drug overdose. So he's saying Juice World ticket giveaway, like he's going to kill him. I mean, he died. Juice World's dead. Ticket giveaway, dead
I
giveaway.
see, kind of code word text bullshit.
Yeah, his subliminal shit. Okay. And then he's always like, "Baby, if you love me, then you cannot work." So he's trying to seclude her. He's trying to make it to where she depends on him all the time. Another text message says, "I'd kill all of us, but I wouldn't put my hands on you. I promise you don't understand that I will kill you if you leave me. See, baby, you can't ask me that because then I start second guessing if I did." He just sounds like a complete lunatic. And then he's just, I mean, the texts never stop. Then he's all, "Baby, please don't never give up on me. Please don't ever cheat on me so I don't have to kill you. Baby, don't get the whole world killed." Like, who the fuck sends text messages like this? It's just disgusting.
I don't know, and we could go on and on and on with
these text
the
messages.
text threats about killing her, and I don't think he's talking about getting beat up like most rap songs are talking about getting beat up. And it's not funny, but you know what I'm saying.
Even with all this new evidence, law enforcement, they have refused to dig deeper or reopen the investigation. Now, in response, there's a petition on our Facebook page, Podcast 69 South, advocating to reopen Haley's case. If you want to help, please jump over and sign that petition for Haley and her family. Also, be sure to follow the Justice for Haley Cheney Facebook page for updates and support. Now, for those looking for a deeper dive into Haley's case, the Gore Report has an excellent episode on it, and Sleepless at 3 a.m. has also recently covered this story. So be sure to show them some love and support as well. Now, what is a family to do when they can't even get law enforcement to investigate the death of their loved one?
It seems that whatever the family conveyed to the investigating officer was taken at face value, leading the police to believe that Haley had suicidal ideation when in fact she did not. They ran with this narrative, but Haley would never have committed suicide, and that's a belief shared by every single member of her family.
One family member had previously attempted suicide, and it didn't end well. They had open conversations about life and suicide, vowing never to let such a tragedy happen again. This was not in Haley's nature, and her family stands firm in that conviction. The only way Haley's family feels they can seek justice is through local media, podcasts, and those that are willing to share her story. If you're a podcaster looking for a compelling case to cover, this is one you should definitely consider. Everything surrounding this situation is riddled with red flags.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of things that these police could have done at the initial scene that would have covered a few of the bases or not left so much untold of this story. There was another camera that can be seen in the ring footage or some of the
pictures the police had taken.
Right, evidence or video footage from that camera was never uncovered or released. They still have the gun. They never did any fingerprint testing. They never did any GSR testing on the car or her hands.
The family has had to put in all the footwork on this. They've called several times. They've emailed. They've asked every question they are supposed to ask. And all they're met with is resistance.
I wonder if they still have that gun, if they could even do like a DNA touch on the gun. I mean, whoever did it could have used gun. You could use gloves. I mean, you never know. But
what happens to the evidence when they close a case? If they close a case and mark it by suicide, what happens to all that evidence? Do they keep it or do they discard of it after so many years? You would think they would have to keep it for a minimum of 7 or 8 years. That's what I would think.
You would think so.
But Haley's story is such a tragedy, and I want to take a moment to remind everyone that domestic violence is not normal. So please share Haley's story in hopes that it might resonate with someone you love and help them. It's Haley, I know that we can see the red flags, but sometimes when you care about somebody, love is blind and the person can't initially maybe see everything that was going on or
get
have
them
concerns.
love blinders on.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
Thank you for listening, everybody, and continue to seek justice for Haley. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. But until then, until next time, we got a bunch of good shit coming up.
Tell them what's coming up next week.
We have the probable cause affidavit to a pretty big case. I don't want to mention it on Haley's episode because it's kind of fucked up. Until then, everybody, have a good day, good evening, whatever.